All right, ladies and gentlemen, guys, we'd like to welcome you to the show. This is your host of the evening, DJJustJayOK with Just Dimes TNT. This is the So Do You Dig. Guys, we like to have real conversations here. They're conversations that most people might not be able to stomach because of our criticism of the things that we do in the black community. So for people that are sensitive, I encourage you guys, just exit my video. We're going to say some things that might not sit well with your sensibilities. That red X is in the top right corner. Just hit that X, exit my video. You got about 5 seconds to do that. For everybody else that wants to join my channel and they know how we get down over here, we're going to speak harshly against people that are affecting children and affecting families. And we're definitely going to advocate for children first here at the So Do You Dig. Guys, here's the story. John Creek detectives have obtained arrest warrants for 3 men who they believe are responsible for the murder of a 21-year-old woman late last month. The 3 names are Antoine Sims, age 20, Michael Smith, age 20, and Deshaun Flurney, age 18. And I have those names specified. Actually, let me pull it up on the screen so you guys can see it, because you might not have saw the thumbnail when we started out earlier. So there you go. Antoine Sims is at the bottom left corner. Deshaun Flurney, top left corner. Michael Smith on the far right. Those are the men that are wanted for the murder of the young lady in the middle of the screen. Her name is Adelisa Muratovic. Adelisa Muratovic. Obviously, that's a not a common name that we have here in the United States, so I'm sure that she might have a different nationality, but I wanted to readdress that to let you guys know who was who. So here's the story. All 3 of these gentlemen are wanted for a felony murder in connection with the death of Adelisa Muratovic, whose body was found in a burning car on October the 30th. Now, the problem with this is the fact that this story was done on October 30th is they didn't know who any of these gentlemen were. They didn't have any leads. They didn't have any suspects at this point. Now we do. Now we have names, and now they're still on the loose. So what we need to try to do is try to get the information, and we'll just hope that this is some type of misunderstanding. But guys, as you guys know, it's usually not. Especially in these fatherless households, these fatherless children are usually bringing about the most violence in our community against anybody and everybody. They are basically producing the burdens on society, on everyone else, which is why we tend to speak against fatherless households, okay? And that's a statistic you can look up. Stop talking to me in the comment section about y'all feelings. Well, why don't you do stories about this and that? Well, you know what's funny? Everybody can put up a news story. Everybody can give their own commentary. If those people that want me to change the type of commentary I do, why don't you put up the type of commentary that you want me to do before you telling me to do something? I think that's weird, but let's keep going. Police believe Muratovic was a victim of a drug deal gone wrong that started with Johns Creek and ended in Lawrenceville. They went there to buy marijuana, and marijuana is almost legal in the United States of America. So why people are still having these drug deals going wrong, I guess that's kind of a circumstance that'll need to be rectified over time. But when the person they're buying weed from showed up, that person displayed a firearm and began shooting. Shots were exchanged between the 2 of them, said Captain Chris Byers with the John Creek Police Department. Now, Byers told Pechnik that Muratovic was hit during the exchange of gunfire, and that's when the alleged drug dealer, Antoine Sims, drove her car to Lawrenceville and burned it with her body inside. Obviously, he was trying to get rid of the evidence and try to burn it up. And I guess that's the new thing that they're doing now, because maybe these little niggas, excuse my French, like to watch forensic files and all of this type of stuff. And they figure if they could just burn the evidence up, that they're not going to be connected to this in any shape, form, or fashion. So I'm assuming what probably happened was somebody that knew about this told other people, and they are going to end up snitching on each other. That's probably what's going to end up happening, right? Because they're all participating in a drug deal. If they tell on each other, that's the form of snitching. If anybody that is outside of that knows what's going on, we encourage you guys to come forth and let the world know that these gentlemen need to be apprehended for the heinous acts that they have done. Now, Byers told Pechnik detectives believe Smith and Flurney had planned to rob Sims, which means this is going to be premeditated. His girlfriend was in the car. As far as her involvement, we're still working on that and can't comment right now, said Byers. Now, this is what I'll say, which is the part that the family might not like me saying. But this is why you can't hang with drug dealers and have drug dealing boyfriends and think that you're going to be, vindicated from any level of implication in your part in this, because it looks really bad, because her boyfriend was the one on the very far right. From my understanding, that was who she was dating. She was dating a damn drug dealer, a criminal, and I think all of these young men actually have criminal records. It's like when you lay down with dogs, you're bound to come up with fleas, right? Let's keep going. Byers said Smith initially told police Muratovic took him to the complex to surprise him, buying him marijuana for his birthday. Because I'm going to tell you guys something, the family spoke very highly of this young woman, and I'm not saying she was a bad person, because like I said, weed is kind of taboo, one of those taboo things, and it's almost about to become legal throughout the United States of America. So can we really say that part about it was wrong? No. But if it's currently wrong, then yes, you'd be breaking the law, which means you can't be doing that and getting yourself caught up with dumb shit, right? Excuse me. Let's keep going. At this point, police have charged all three men with murder. Smith and Flourney also face charges of criminal attempt to commit armed robbery and aggravated assault. Sims faced charges for drug possession and distribution in Fulton County, and Gwinnett investigators have charged him with arson for concealing the death of a person, according to warrants obtained by Channel News' Tony Thomas. Friends have started a GoFundMe page for Muratovic, and I'll show you guys her GoFundMe page here in just a little bit. According to officials and previous reports by the Daily Post, Lawrenceville Police Department officers responded to the reports of a car ablaze in the parking lot of a subdivision clubhouse on Village Bluff Drive at 3:30 a.m. October 30th, where the fire was extinguished. They found Muratovic's body. Police say Muratovic died from a gunshot wound, which she may have sustained during a shootout at Johns Creek subdivision 6 hours earlier. There's a little bit more to this. Do me a favor, we got 212 people watching. How many thumbs up do we have? Can you guys please hit the thumbs up? For the new people that are coming in and chatting, have you guys hit the thumbs up yet? It's a simple thing to do. It's a free thing to do. Guys got to make sure and help me out. If you guys want to help out the channel, please make sure you help out those thumbs up, because we need each and every one of those, okay? Marcus Barrett, I'm telling you guys, I do read your comments after the show is over. It's a ton of them. It's a lot of comments, because y'all flood my comment section, but I do read them. As you guys know, you can scroll down and look and see that I've actually responded to a lot of y'all comments. It takes hours to do that, because y'all have 500-600 comments on one video within one day, which is pretty cool. 141 thumbs up. Guys, we need at least 200 thumbs up. Please, please, please. I hate having to beg for that. When we only got like 4 or 5 or 6 people donating to the show, but 200 or 300 people watching, all I need you guys to do is just hit the thumbs up. Love Jones said, I hit the like button and just subscribe to you. Thank you, Love Jones. I appreciate that, sister. You guys know that we speak a message of love and support, and we want the black community to get better, but we have to separate. We have to separate. Shout out to my brother Tommy Sotomayor, who explained that that's what the Bible encourages us to do. It's not to mix with bad. You have to separate from the bad. All right, let's keep going. We'll get the thumbs up here in just a minute. Johns Creek Police Department spokesman Captain Chris Byers previously told the Daily Post that Johns Creek police received a 911 call on the night of October 29th from residents of the retreat at Johns Creek Apartments who reported hearing gunshots, a couple of gunshots. Our officers responded, met with a couple of witnesses who said after the shooting, it sounded like a car took off at a high rate of speed and several people ran off into the woods, Byers said. We put up a drone and got a K9 into the woods, but the only thing they found were some shell casings and a live bullet, a bullet that's not been shot. Because there were no victims after investigation and collecting evidence, detectives left the area, Byers said, and weren't called back until the following day when Lawrenceville detectives contacted them regarding a car fire and a dead woman in Gwinnett. They quote this: We got a call from Lawrenceville detectives who say, we have located the boyfriend of the victim, and he's saying he was driving the car hours earlier in Johns Creek, Byers said. He apparently told Lawrenceville detectives that he and Muratovic went to the Retreat at Johns Creek Apartments to buy drugs, and while there, the other two people showed up and approached the car with a gun and started shooting. The boyfriend said he got his gun and basically a gunfight ensues, and then he takes off running into the woods. The boyfriend, now, I'll tell you this. Let me pause right there. Because they're talking about, this is the boyfriend right here. That actually might be believable, and I don't think maybe his criminal record should dictate maybe a lot of this, but let's think about this. Let's talk about this portion of it in fairness, because I like to try to be fair, all right? If he's a criminal and a drug dealer, then that can't be overlooked. If he's not, then what if that she was bringing him by here to surprise him and say, hey, I got you some weed or whatever the case is. And then he gets surprised by two thugs coming out with guns. Like, what else would you do if you had a gun on you? You'd fight back. You would try to defend yourself. And her not having a gun on her, she just ended up being a victim. She just ended up being a casualty of this particular situation. But this is all hearsay at this point. We don't know that that's necessarily what happened. But the boyfriend said he got his gun and basically a gunfight ensues and he took off running into the woods. The boyfriend allegedly told police that after he ran into the woods, one of the other parties jumped into the car where Muratovic was as a passenger and fled the scene. The car Muratovic was ultimately found in Lawrenceville, though detectives have not said how the car got there and who believe they torched it. And none of the suspects are currently in custody. So, if that's the story that the boyfriend is telling, then I think that he should come forth because of the fact that they already have names, they already have faces. If he was innocent and he didn't, and all he did was just defend himself at this point, the best thing for him to do is definitely to try to come forward. So, young brother, I'm encouraging you to do one thing or two things for sure. One thing is, while you guys are not apprehended, you better get your lawyer if I believe your story, because I think it does have some level of plausibility. You better get your lawyer. Number two, turn yourself in, because the more that you duck and dodge the police, it makes you look like you had something to do with this. Let's go ahead and give the fair usage. I'll show you guys what we have as far as the news footage, and we'll go from there, okay? Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. You guys hit that thumbs up for me. What's up, Kamal Bashir? And thank you to everybody that's hit that thumbs up. Let me see. Broco's Chop, thank you for hitting that thumbs up. I appreciate that. We got about 235 people watching. More people will come as long as y'all hit that thumbs up. Let's go ahead and start with the first video.
Developments, and now we've learned murder charges in the case of a woman shot and then burned in a car. Police now tell us the woman died in a shootout in a Johns Creek apartment complex before one of the suspects drove her body to Lawrenceville and torched her car. Channel 2's Mike Pachenik is live on State Bridge Road. And Mike, police actually have charged 3 people with that murder today.
Jovita, police tell us the victim, her boyfriend, and a third man came here to the Retreat at Johns Creek Apartments back on October 29th to buy pot. They say things went badly and the victim ended up shot to death.
And they were extremely loud. And you don't hear gunshots here, so you knew they were gunshots.
That's what a Johns Creek man told us 2 weeks ago about a barrage of bullets he heard fired inside of the Retreat at Johns Creek Apartments. Police now say that gunfire killed 21-year-old Adelisa Muratovic, seen in this picture provided by her family. Captain Chris Byers says detectives believe Muratovic and her boyfriend Michael Smith went to the apartments with their friend Deshaun Flournoy to meet a third man, Antoine Sims.
Went there to buy marijuana is what he told us at that night, and then when the person that they were buying from showed up, that person displayed a firearm, began shooting. Shots were exchanged between the two of them, at which point he fled on foot.
Police say Smith and Flournoy bolted, and Sims drove Muratovic's car to this Lawrenceville neighborhood to burn it with her body inside.
Man, that's cold, man. And like I said, the more I've sat and read this story, it sounds like the boyfriend might have just been innocent along with the girlfriend at this point. I don't know how much weed they could have been buying. And yes, they did say pot. Yes, they said pot, right? But how much were they buying? Like $20 worth of weed? 100, 200? Like how much weed were they buying for these so-called drug dealers to come out with guns and say that they're going to rob them? How much marijuana were they buying? That's what I'm curious about, for them to come out and feel like it's worth gunning somebody down. I can't see somebody gunning somebody down over $20, but then again, I do know somebody in Oklahoma City that was actually shot over $10. So I've seen worse. Shot and killed over $10. Was it a couple $1,000s in marijuana? Was it a pound? How much was it? I think that's also relevant too. But if they were killing them over a couple bags, $20 bags, $10 bags, and you're going to face life in prison over that, over a murder? Man. Brielle, I do agree. Brielle said it don't matter. They'll rob you over 2 grams. Yeah, they will. They absolutely will. That's sad, man. That is sad. They could potentially face the death penalty over this. Over a little bit of nothing. It's just sad how we don't value life like that. 250 people watching, hit that thumbs up. If you're new coming in, hit that thumbs up for me, okay? Did he burn his girlfriend? No, he didn't. From what we understand, the boyfriend didn't do it. The boyfriend took off running, and one of the dudes stole the car with the dead girl inside the car, took off with the car to burn the evidence of the dead body. Like, I don't know how they thought they was going to get away with that, but one of them, from what we understand, tried to run off with the car and burn the body. That's what we understand. Marcus Barrett said, I can bet that DJ knows someone got killed over a piece of chicken. There was actually a story that I think Tommy did. And there was a man or somebody that was either stabbed or shot over chicken. I swear to God. And that's a real story. That is a real story. I just don't understand how we get to the point to where we don't have any value for life like that. Then why is the boyfriend charged? Because he hasn't come forth yet. Everybody's implicated at this point because they were all supposedly, quote unquote, in a drug deal. He hasn't really given his full story yet. He hasn't come out. He hasn't been booked, nothing at this point. None of them have been caught yet. So yeah, you can be charged based on what they know. Those charges can also be dropped too. Remember that. The more they find out, they can either decide to go forward with charges and present it to the prosecutor. They could drop off certain charges, or they could say, you know what? We believe his story. We're going to take him at his word. We're going to drop this particular charge.
Muratovic's family has started this GoFundMe page, and on it they say she was, quote, always smiling, loved people, and was compassionate towards everyone she met. The pain her parents are experiencing is a suffering that no parent should have to endure.
That's the car right there, man. They burned the shit out of that car. It burnt the paint off. I mean, golly. Woo, wow. That car looked like it exploded. When he lit that car on fire, he must have put like a whole tank of gas in there and lit the thing up. Sheesh.
Or And police believe that Smith and Flournoy came here specifically to rob the drug dealer, but they say they're still investigating whether Muratovic knew any of this was going to go down. All three of those men are facing murder charges, and tonight police are still looking for them. They ask anyone with information on where they might be to give them a call.
Again, that's going to be the smartest thing that the boyfriend can do is lawyer up. Don't give any further story at this point. If you're innocent, we don't know. But I think his story actually might be able to get him off because maybe he didn't know what was going on. And to the family, I mean, the reality is sometimes girls would do shit like this. Daughters will do shit like this. They'll go get the drugs for you. I mean, I've been young and I've been around young girls before, and young girls will do some dumb things. They'll hang with some dumb folks. They'll get caught up in doing dumb things because they're hanging around dumb people. So we can't completely exonerate 21-year-old Adelisa Muratovic in this situation. But I will tell you guys this. The money that the family was asking for on the GoFundMe, they got that and some. So they got what they were looking for as far as the GoFundMe. Nothing can bring their daughter back. I mean, that's never going to fix that. You know what I mean? But at least for what they were asking for, they got it on the GoFundMe.
Story for us tonight.
Her family in mourning. Now police think
as you can see right there, it says 17. They were asking for 15,000 and they got 17,185. So for you guys that wanted just the update, that's what happened. And matter of fact, I needed to read Mister's comment. He said, true story. I got robbed at gunpoint in broad daylight in New Orleans pumping gas. Luckily, all I had was $5 in cash. He took my $5 and my condoms out of my wallet and gave it back to me. Oh my God. And you say it happened in New Orleans? I 100% believe you. It's just, man, we don't value, and that's part of what I'm talking about when it comes to having balance in the household. I think when you have that balance, naturally you will have more respect for human life, I believe, especially if you have parents that are worth 2 cents. If your parents have any level of home training or anything like that, I think you just tend to turn out better. Statistics have proven that young people that were raised with 2 parents in the household, biological mother and biological father, tend to do better. The fact that these young folks don't have any value in life, the fact that people are robbing you of $5 in condoms, like, damn. I know it's hard out there, but damn no. That's why I keep my strap on me at all times. Because people might think I got something, people might think I got nothing, and they gonna test me. Sorry, don't do that. Especially not out here in Texas. Not out here in one of these states where we love to tote our weapons. Because we are legal, law-abiding citizens that carry our weapons on us at all times. I just think that, matter of fact, I don't know if you guys knew this or not. There's a new law that I think Georgia, and you guys need to make sure and tell Tommy about this. So if Tommy ends up either hearing this, or if y'all talk to Tommy, make sure that y'all look this story up. It's brand new. I think within the past week, Georgia is allowing people to carry their weapons on them, their legal weapons on them, without having a concealed carry license. That's huge. But here's the stipulation. You can't be a criminal and you can't be banned from having weapons. So that's still, the same laws still apply to the law-abiding citizens. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the people that don't have any weapons charges against them, no felonies and stuff like that, trying to get them to utilize their Second Amendment rights. Did you guys know about that? Georgia, from what I understand, is one of the first states that's trying to get it passed to where you are not forced to have the license. You can still get the training, and I still think you can get the license, but you're not required to. And I think that's pretty dope because it still excludes the criminals, the non-law-abiding citizens. I think that's pretty good. I would have a call-in show, Brielle, but I'm actually supposed to be at work literally like right now, bro. Like right now. Because as soon as I get off of here, like I'm not going to even extend the show any further. Like I'm literally going to be like right out the door. I already got the car warming up right now because it's cold outside. But let's keep going. I'm going to wrap this thing up for you guys here in just a little bit. Brielle, we need to talk when I get a chance, so that way I can start getting you guys back involved in these stories that we be doing, because I know y'all email me and stuff like that, but I want to make it to where we can start having conversations, group conversations again. So I haven't forgot about y'all, bro. I promise you that.
We know who shot and killed 21-year-old Adelisa Muratovic and then set fire to her car with her body inside. Johns Creek believe 3 men are responsible. Antoine Sims, Michael Smith, and Deshaun Flournoy, all 3 accused of felony murder. Police say the 3 men were in the midst of a drug deal at this gated apartment complex.
And they refer to it as a drug deal because the drug is weed, marijuana. And again, that's part of the social programming that we've had for so many years. For most of us, it's been pretty much since we've been born. For everybody else, since they started the war against marijuana and hemp, that's been since most of us have been born. And now we're trying to undo a lot of this programming and look at marijuana as something medicinal and look at marijuana as something that is recreational as opposed to quote unquote a drug. So that's something else to think about. They're saying a drug deal. So it's just a substance that's not legal in their area just yet.
And Muratovic, police say, was also there as part of the drug deal, waiting inside a car.
We know that she was coming there to purchase drugs.
Johns Creek Police Captain Chris Byers says while she waited inside the car, 2 of the men tried to rob the 3rd. All 3 suddenly opened fire on each other.
Shots began being fired between Antoine, Michael, and Deshaun all around the vehicle where the victim was, and at some point she was struck by a bullet.
And Byers says that shot killed Muratovic. Then investigators say it was Antoine Sims who drove Muratovic's body from Johns Creek to Lawrenceville and set fire to her car. Detectives hoping anyone who knows where the suspects are will call 911.
These are felony murder warrants, so yes, we want to get them off the street soon.
And at this point, none of them have been taken into custody yet. But like I said, for the boyfriend, lawyer up and turn yourself in, because the longer this lingers on, the worse it's going to make you look. Because I think the boyfriend might actually be innocent in this. He might have just been defending himself. If the girlfriend brought him there and he didn't know what he was being brought to, depending on the story, whoever story is believable, but I think he might have had a right to defend himself. But here's the last video, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up.
I'm Jennifer Leslie with a surprising development in a Johns Creek murder case. Police say the victim, 21-year-old Adelisa Muratovic, was part of a drug buy that ended in gunfire. Her body found inside her car that was set on fire miles away from the shooting scene. Police have issued...
Super T says, so her boyfriend ran away? No, the boyfriend was chased away by way of bullets come flying at him, from what we understand. He was chased away because it was 2 gunmen came for him and the girlfriend.
Was part of a drug buy that ended in gunfire. Her body found inside her car that was set on fire miles away from the shooting scene. Police have issued murder warrants for Antoine Sims, Michael Smith, and Deshaun Flournoy. They say the 3 met for a drug deal last month at a gated apartment complex in Johns Creek while Muratovic waited for them in the car.
Shots began being fired between Antoine, Michael, and Deshaun all around the vehicle where the victim was, and at some...
And again, that's all we basically got so far. So like I say again, these are the gentlemen that are in question at this point. Antoine Sims, age 20, Michael Smith, age 20, Deshaun Flourney, age 18, are all wanted in connection to the murder of Adelisa Muratovic. All right. And again, I think that the story is plausible that the boyfriend on the far right end might have been protecting himself in this situation because the two other gentlemen, from what we understand, their intentions were to rob them. Somebody stole the car, one of those two, or two out of three, stole the car, took the car somewhere else in Lawrenceville, burned the car and set it ablaze to try to get rid of the quote unquote evidence, or at least to try to degrade the evidence. So we will see how this turns out. But at this point, like I said, stand up for what you do. If you feel like all you were doing was just defending yourself, then you need to stand up for what it is that you did. I think it's a believable story. I mean, we've all been around this age. We've all trusted and rolled with people before, girlfriends, homeboys, whatever the case is. And if you get caught up in some shit, then I think that you might have the right to defend yourself. But it all depends on the motive, and it all depends on what all was actually entwined in this particular story, which there's some details that we're not sure about. But like I say, I'm giving my perspective on this because, again, this speaks to the fact that young men don't have any value in themselves, because I don't think that they were raised with value, because it takes a man to raise a boy to a man. They cannot continue to keep having these single mother households and expect to have a productive citizen of the United States of America. Statistics have proven it doesn't work that way. We advocate for children first. If you want good men, you have to raise good boys. Good boys learn their value from their fathers. Hashtag, where are the fathers? There hardly are ever any told about in these stories. That is my 2 cents. This is your boy DJ Just Jay signing off. I'd like to thank you guys so much for joining the show. Thank you guys for helping us reach 20,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for liking and sharing and subscribing to the stories. We're going to continue to keep talking about these things. And guys, after the holidays here, and maybe even after December, I've got a ton more stories. We're going to do some more in and out stories, which are going to be very quick, 5 to 10 minute videos. We're also going to do some more just shenanigans. I got some funny videos coming up. I'm sitting on them. I have not put them out yet, but I think you guys are going to really, really enjoy the content coming up. So again, and also we're going to do more panels. So I forgot about what Brielle was saying. So I'll bring that up again. To answer Brielle's question, he wants to know if we're going to have more call-in shows and have panels. I think we could definitely do that. Absolutely.